Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Wednesday the 14th of January. This is Kim Watson speaking for Easy Trader. Okay, looking at the pound dollar first, and as you can see yesterday we put yet another, well, sort of almost a reversal candle sitting in there in this daily movement. Again, really this time we had doji the previous day. Yesterday we had a hanging man. And we see from this 4-hour picture, really sort of shows the sort of consolidation we're sitting in at the moment, with the potential weakness that's sitting here as well. We did have a dip yesterday, as expected. We saw the breakdown, which actually went through my targets, etc., and actually pushed down below the previous day's lows. But the highs never exceeded the highs. It did actually manage to rally almost back up to those highs there, and now we're sort of sitting there again. And at the moment, I've got a sort of small downside target, but it's very small downside target there of 151.42, that sort of area. Which, if that was to be broken, maybe we could see yet another movement down. But the way this market's moving at the moment, we're seeing effectively on a big some sort of chop pattern. In fact, if you drew across the top here, you can actually see we're sort of sitting in this consolidated area here. And it's really, well, for the bigger direction is whether we break this. Short term, I'm really looking at this smaller movement within this bigger movement. If we break down to the lower side, downside here, well, perhaps, as I say, again, we'll be looking towards yesterday's lows again. Alternatively, this time, if we was to make another break to the upside there, maybe this time it may break through, but obviously we've got some 60-minute resistance sitting right above us there. Okay, so that's the pound dollar. No significant news coming out for the pound dollar, but there is news in the US this afternoon. We've got the retail sales. Hasn't really given much in the way of big movements of late. Even with what was it, a 0.4 positive move last time, we saw about a 17 pip move, so it's not given massive moves. But there is a European Court of Justice ruling over whether based on the legality of the ECB buying sovereign bonds. So that may create some volatility, certainly for the euro, which may reflect into the pound as well. So that could come out at any time, I understand. For now though, let's have a look at the euro then. Okay, so we'll start off on the bigger time frame as ever. Euro did sell off and stayed low yesterday, so it sort of it had the hanging man, came off, stayed pretty much low. Seeing a little bit of a retrace at the moment, and there's a possible well, actually it's just hit the target I was expecting it to hit. At the moment it's looking sort of like it's trying to push up a bit further, and there's some intermediate momentum running upwards, but you've got this trend line running across there's a couple of trend lines running across the lows here, but probably this one's a safer one if you're looking. There's actually a move across here, so once again, just like yesterday where we sort of got into this sort of wedge pattern, we got yet another wedge pattern sitting there. Now a break of the lower side of this again for me would see me looking for the downside. Whoops, sorry, let's put an arrow there instead. Looking for the downside sort of trades. I'm more wary of the upside in this because of the pattern. You're sort of sitting in this sort of bear flag pattern, which would really suggest weakness, but it's already hit its daily pivot here. Maybe it will come up and hit the 50 moving average. I would be looking potentially as a sell point on that area if it gets a bit overbought at that point on the short-term time frames. So there's a possible resistance point. Push beyond that, well, then we could be heading back up towards that 200 moving average. Right, okay, that's the euro, weak looking at the moment, and as I say, there's a court hearing out today, so that may create some volatility around that. I'm not sure the timing on that. Looking at dollar yen, It continued with its downside movement here again yesterday, so it's sort of it's breaking. Effectively, the yen's getting stronger against the dollar in this movement here, whereas obviously the pound and the euro are getting weaker against the dollar, but this is getting stronger and pushing down further. It's this morning again, it pushed down yesterday, pushed down some more today. It totally disregarded the reversal candle that was there on Monday. For now, looking weak. Again, well, you have got an upside target here of 118 or 102, so there is the possibility of something coming off there. I would only be looking for it maybe if we see this break of this trend line though. At the moment it's a bit like catching a knife. It is a bit oversold, but if it does break that sort of level, well, maybe a move to the upside is possible. But at the moment it's weak. I prefer to be stepping aside of the market. I don't really want to sell into this. I'd rather, if it breaks this level, be looking as a buyer. Okay, as a dollar against the yen, that is. Okay, finally in the Aussie dollar, let's look at the bigger picture here. Okay, so Monday we saw the sell-off again. Yesterday, put in this reversal doji, but that's been negated effectively as it's broken the lows of that side, and it's continued towards the previous lows there. Nothing really out to affect the Aussie dollar apart from the US retail sales later maybe, but at the moment in this picture, well, it's almost done an equal throw by looks of things in terms of the size of the movement from this part to the size of the movement from this part here. Looks pretty equalish to me. It could continue down. To me it's not quite so clear cut maybe. Looking at the 60-minute, yeah, we've already gone through my daily target sort of area where I'd expect to be hit. There's marginal divergence where we're sitting here, so maybe if it does push up, I'm really looking towards the euro and the pound and seeing what's happening there for sort of some sort of guidance here at the moment. It's looking weak. Not sure if I'd want to be a buyer of the Aussie dollar at the moment. I mean, it's a very steep trend line that's sort of sitting there, which we could see broken, but then it come back through again and retest. It really isn't too easy for me at the moment to say. Slight divergence, maybe that will bring it up, but no real upside targets. There's the possibility if it does sort of break and push up, it will want to retest the underside of that 200 and those previous lows, and maybe that would be a level looking around that 0.8132 area. So looking around about that sort of region as a test. That may be a point of weakness where it could sell into, but at the moment, to say, I'm going to be keeping out of the Aussie dollar for now. Okay, that's it for me. Hope you have a great day. Bye for now.